Welcome to the Crystal Self-Healer Podcast. I'm Carissa Weaver. On this podcast, we blend the magic of crystals with the science of psychology to help you break free from chaos, ditch the overwhelm, and master your emotions so you can have more energy, get more done, and feel better every day. Get ready to unlock your intuition and restore your true power as we cover how you can transform your life using crystals and self-awareness. Are you ready to get started? All right, let's go. As we approach the end of the year, there's a shift in energy that invites us to slow down, breathe, and reflect. From the winter solstice to the end of the calendar year, it's like the world itself is giving us the perfect opportunity to press pause and check in. When I worked in corporate, the week between Christmas and New Year was one of my favorite weeks. There was a calm that descended on the office after the chaos of the lead up to the holidays. The office was so quiet, a dream for any introvert like me. It proved to be the perfect time to catch up on projects, experience space in your schedule, and breathe. This pause, this in between the end and the start, always felt like the perfect way to wrap up a chapter and prepare for the next. If you've been looking for a way to transition and approach the new year with intention, this episode is for you. We're going to dive into using crystals for end-of-year introspection. We'll uncover the tools you need to reflect, hit reset, feel grounded, and start the next chapter with clarity and confidence. The hardest thing to do is to try to get somewhere without having an effective blueprint or map. Something that helps to provide structure without stifling the array of actions that can be employed to get to the end result. Chances are you started out this year with a goal. Maybe it was something that had a pre-established route, like getting a diploma. You knew what to do, when to do it, and how long it would take to get there. But what happens when your goal doesn't have a clear roadmap? Or when life takes an unexpected turn that throws you off track? Without a plan or a clear guide, it can be so easy to feel lost, unsure of the next step of how to move forward. What I see often, both with myself and my clients, is a tendency to start something with a burst of energy and excitement, but then struggle when there isn't a clear way forward. Human nature is great when it comes to setting a goal or dreaming about a desired outcome, but not so great when it comes to following through or having the resilience to persist to achieve the goal. I see so many of my clients in a space of all or nothing mindset. If they don't reach the goal exactly as planned, they feel like they've failed, even if they've made significant progress or the goal was unrealistic from the start. This kind of thinking keeps you stuck in a cycle of self-doubt and frustration. It's easy to beat yourself up and dismiss all the hard work you've done simply because it didn't look exactly like you envisioned it at the start. Before we rush into the new year, it's important to take a moment to reflect on how far we've come and what we want to carry forward. The truth is, we rarely stop to acknowledge how much we've grown and accomplished throughout the year. Instead, we focus on what we didn't get done or what we still need to do. The solstice is right around the corner and offers a natural time to take stock. You don't need to wait for the calendar to turn to January. Right now is the perfect time to honor where you've been, what you've done, and create space for what's next. Let's be real. Taking time to reflect on the past year can feel like a lot. We often carry around the weight of unfinished goals, missed opportunities, and unresolved emotions. If you're like most people, you might not even realize how much emotional baggage you're carrying until you try to stop and take a look at it. Let me break this down. Reflection can feel overwhelming, maybe even scary, and that's totally normal. If you've been avoiding it, it might be because it feels like too much to handle, or maybe you just don't know where to start. That's all okay. It's a lot easier to keep moving forward and ignore the past than it is to actually sit down with it. You might worry that when you start reflecting, all that will show up are your failures or mistakes. You know, the things you wish you had done differently or the goals you didn't quite hit. Here's the thing though, just because you didn't hit a goal doesn't mean you failed. Society teaches us that we always need to be going and achieving. But what we often forget is that reflection isn't about criticizing ourselves. It's about learning. It's about understanding where we've been, what we've learned, and how we can use that to move forward. But here's the kicker. Actually looking at those lessons can be uncomfortable. For example, maybe you've been avoiding the fact that a certain pattern, belief, or situation has been holding you back all year. You might feel attached to it, even if it's no longer serving you. Let me give you an example. Maybe you've been stuck in a job or relationship that's draining you, but you've been afraid to let go because it feels familiar or comfortable. Even though it doesn't help you anymore, it feels like a safe thing. Letting go of that comfort can stir up all kinds of emotions, grief, fear, uncertainty, and it can make it hard to create space for something new. And that's a big part of the struggle. Letting go feels like a loss, right? Especially when you've spent so much time and energy on something, it might feel like you're leaving behind a piece of yourself. And that can trigger all kinds of emotions like sadness, regret, or even anxiety about what will come next. Here's another thing that gets in the way. When it comes to reflection, it can feel like just another thing on the to-do list, a task you have to check off. But reflection isn't about checking boxes. It's about honoring where you've been, accepting what you've learned, and creating space for what's next. So yeah, there are a lot of reasons why taking time to reflect can feel tough. It might bring up fears, attachments, or even discomfort about what's next. Reflection doesn't have to be a scary thing, and it's definitely not about beating yourself up for what hasn't been done. It's about creating space to honor your past, your progress, and your path forward. The most powerful changes don't come from grand resolutions or overhauls. They come from small, intentional moments of reflection, moments where we give ourselves permission to pause, reset, and recalibrate. Whether you celebrate the holidays or not, the end of December carries a unique energy. Between the winter solstice and the calendar year end, it's a bridge between what has been and what is to come. A time to look back at where you've been and ahead to where you want to go. I know there's this idea that rituals or practices tied to significant dates, like the solstice, need to happen at the exact moment to be meaningful. We put this pressure on ourselves to get it right or to follow a specific timeline, but this can actually hold us back because life doesn't always cooperate with a rigid schedule. Let me put this into perspective. The solstice isn't just a single moment in time. It's a whole energetic season, stretching over a few days before and after the solstice. The energy is still there, supporting you, even if you don't reflect or reset right on that exact day to tap into its magic. Yes, the exact day is special, but the meaning comes from the intention, the reflection, and the celebration. Your ritual is no different. The power lies in showing up for yourself with the intention to reflect and reset, no matter when you choose to do it. This season allows for flexibility, and there's no need to add pressure around getting it perfect. Even if you only take 5 minutes at any point during the solstice season to pause, reflect, and reset, that act carries the same weight as a longer ritual done on the exact day. If you're ready to start reflecting and resetting now, that's perfect. If you need a few more days to find your moment, That's perfect too. This process meets you where you are. All that matters is your intention to honor yourself and your journey. That can happen whenever you feel ready, and the solstice energy will only support you. If the idea of looking back feels overwhelming, you're not alone. Many of us struggle with this process because it asks us to sit with our emotions and face truths we might otherwise avoid. The simplicity of reflecting and resetting is also what can make it challenging. The questions you ask and how you choose to answer them. What did I achieve this year? What did I get done? What could I do differently next time? What went well this year? What could have gone differently? What lessons did I learn? Incorporating your crystals allows you to amplify your intentions and provide energetic support for the processes of self-discovery and renewal. They provide that extra layer of safety and encouragement as you move through the more vulnerable moments of reflecting and resetting. I'm going to offer Snowflake Obsidian for the process of using crystals for year-end introspection. Snowflake Obsidian offers a grounding and calming energy that will help clear your mind, reducing feelings of overwhelm. This will make it easier to approach reflection without being weighed down by the intensity of past experiences, so you can release this emotional baggage. Snowflake Obsidian can provide a sense of emotional safety and self-compassion when you're confronting perceived failures. This energy will support you in releasing judgment so you see growth in your journey. Snowflake Obsidian helps you identify patterns and beliefs that are no longer serving you. It will support you in breaking free from the unhealthy attachments and embracing change with confidence. Snowflake Obsidian also promotes balance and perspective, so you will be able to approach your year-end introspection with flexibility, letting go of the need to follow rigid rules or timelines. If this all feels like too much, start with the month right in front of you. Join the Crystal Witch New Moon Ritual, a free monthly gathering under the new moon where you'll practice introspection and goal setting. It's the perfect first step to reconnect with yourself and reset your focus, one lunar cycle at a time. If you're ready to deepen your journey and create lasting change, join me inside the Crystal Self-Healer Members Portal. Inside, you'll learn my 3-step framework to shift from uncertain and anxious to calm and confident, all customized to your unique circumstances. Inside, you get access to courses, workbooks, and tools to guide your growth. Plus, you'll be supported in sacred space with monthly energy healings and rituals that keep you grounded and aligned as you create the life you want. Just head over to 3charmedgems.com or use the link in the show notes to sign up, and I'll see you inside. Today's episode has been brought to you by Snowflake Obsidian and Introspection. May we all find the courage to look within, the grace to reset our goals with clarity, and the hope to create brighter futures with open hearts. Blessed be, my friends. All right, my friends, that wraps up this week's episode. Thank you for joining me here today on the Crystal Self-Healer podcast. If you haven't already, hit subscribe, leave a review, and take the What Crystal is Best for You quiz linked in the show notes. Join me again next week as we continue to demystify crystals, how your brain works, and how you can use them so you can have more energy, get more done, and feel better every day.